Alright, if you're curious about the inside of the Q9000 solenoid, this is the whole setup right here. We have the red and yellow control wires on this side, which is the side that the switch sits on, along with the ground for the switch controller. You got the positive cable and the green connector on the left over here. And you can see where the control wires go from the switch. You have 4 wires. You have a yellow-green one that goes to this red. You have a brown, a black, and a blue that go to the back of this switch. The black is also the black that grounds to the body. And that's about it, I guess. So it's pretty interesting. Alright, after doing a little bit of work and mapping out all the wires, in case you ever wanted to extend your wires and have an in-cab switch, testing the actual switch over here was pretty simple. From all the marks, notice the notch over here, and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4 in a clockwise pattern for the switch. Jumping from, or when you activate the switch on the in position, it jumps 1 to 4. And going from 1 to 3 is out. So with that knowledge from the switch, we can go down here. This was my first attempt. The green and yellow wire went straight to the positive. This is the switch over here, this guy, and this is just a rough diagram of the solenoid box, positive cable, and then the 3 marks here. Positive cable was easy, that just goes to here, and then these ones, for some reason, if you try testing them when they're still plugged in, all of them go to all of them, so that was stupid. So after taking them apart one by one and jumping straight from the wire to the switch, I figured this out. The green and yellow wire that is on the 1 terminal goes straight to positive. Number 2 terminal is black, that goes straight to negative in the middle, and then number 3, the blue cable, which sits on the outside over here, controls out. So if you jump positive to out, then your winch will spool out. And going from 4, which is the brown cable, that's in. So going from positive to in would do the in. So to make that more sense, you have your positive cable right here, your ground cable right here, the brown one goes in, the blue one goes out. So there you go. Nice little diagram, so now you don't have to do as much guesswork. Okay, so after figuring out what I'm going to use, extension cord seems to work the best. On the diagram, you notice that on the solenoid, there's 4 wires, and you only technically need 2 of them. The other 2 are from the battery. You have your positive cable and your negative cable. These are the important guys, the brown and the blue, and all you're doing is jumping from positive to brown or positive to blue, and that'll make it go in or out. But to make this easier, I'm going to run from the positive here and these 2, and then if we want to do something else, we can just ground anywhere on the body, because that's the nice thing about automotive work. You can just ground literally anywhere as long as it's connected. So I found an old extension cord that was chewed up and didn't work. I cut right at the chew mark and then cut down a little bit so the copper was still fresh. And look at that, we have 3 wires. So, if I recall correctly, the white wire is usually the positive cable on electrical, like house electrics. So, I figure I'll put the white one on the positive, just because. And then I'll do the black to brown and the blue to green, just because they are similar in color. And that way, when I cut it at the other end, since they're all still color-coded, I'll know exactly what the hell I did. So, in order to connect them, I had a giant kit of eyelets. And they're all color-coded in size and stuff. These 2 fit just perfectly for the small connectors, and I was going to use this for the positive connector, but I can't take this apart because the way this is built, it was probably tightened on a machine, and then this entire lug was probably bent down, so I can't unbend it. So I'm just going to wrap the cable around it and solder it, and hopefully it'll touch something. So that's my plan of attack. I'll let you know how that goes. And I'm going to run the cable through this hole in the back, and it'll sit right about here. So I'll let you know how that turns out. Alright, final update. The positive cable, that loop that I had, just fell right off. So, I figured I'd just splice into the cable wire that goes to that connector over there. I would have taken it off, but if you look, it's crimped and you can't get to that nut. So, I figured this was the way to do it. And, we have continuity, so time to wrap that up and, put the fucking thing on now. Alright, I think it's time we move on to the vehicle side of things. So, for the in-cab switch, this is our main unit right here. This is, a big thing. Let's take a look at the specifics. This right here, got it from Radio Shack. Auto flip switch, dual pole, dual throw, center off. And I think the dual pole means that it's got this side and this side, so you can put two different things on with different voltages or amperage and they won't touch each other. But the dual throw, you have to hold it. Some of them, when you flick it, it'll stay on. But the reason I did this was for a safety feature. I'm doing a dead man setup, where you have to be there holding the switch for the winch to work. So if you let go for any reason, the winch stops. So that in itself is a safety feature. But an interrupter might be a good idea, just in case, like if you get in your car and you flick it by accident, you don't want your winch fucking up your car or draining your battery. So here is the interrupter style. This is just a simple toggle switch. It turns on and it turns off, and it's got that red indicator light. So on the back you have everything right there for the light to activate. So let's go look inside the car for a good mounting location. So here we are inside the Jeep, and if you come over here to this side, I have a blank spot. Mine did not come with fog lights from the factory. So I'm going to try and use this empty plate right here for the interrupter switch, because it seems to fit nicely in size. It seems to fit rather well. And the toggle switch, I'm not sure where I want to put yet. If you go over here towards the steering wheel a little bit, there's plenty of room there. So if you wanted, you could put that there. So it's kind of out of the way, and it'll still be useful, because you could just flip your finger on and off over there. But something else I was looking at, the space in there is probably too tight, but up here seems to be a sizable gap. So maybe put it there, maybe. I don't know, but if you actually look at the size of the unit, that might get in the way. We won't know until we take things off. So, let's take things off. If you look at the size of the switch, you'd have to fit back there. I don't know how difficult that would be, because there's plenty of room. That's a big open section. Trying to get up there would be kind of annoying. But I don't know. That's a possibility, is to drill a hole through there and do that. And the other side, if you look back here, this is where the lights are. These actually light up. All my lights are dead or blown out or something. So I don't know. I'll have to mess around and figure out exactly where I want it. But let's take this apart a little further. This is my whole unit right here. If we flip it over, you can see a much better view of how everything is set up. The top portions are for light bulbs, which none of mine work that I know of. Let's get new bulbs or something at some point. But here's the little thing that comes out. This little plate. So I'm going to drill through this plate so that this switch will fit in there. I figure it'll look good enough sitting flush. It doesn't stick up that much farther, so I can live with it. It's a Jeep. Now, this is going to be the tricky part, because of how big this thing is. If you can, try and get like I think a single pole double throw. This one's a bit big, but it's the only one I could find that you have to hold down. So I'm going to try and put it in there. So I'm going to cut through here and cut that knob off, and see if I can get it to sit in there. That'll be the fun part, because this is a big motherfucker. So, I don't know. I think it's possible. And if it doesn't work, it's all on the back, so no one will see it anyway. So, let's get to drilling. Alright, let me give you guys a quick progress update. Here's the front. I drilled out that blank plate, and got the switch in there. And that's solid, so that'll snap right into place, so that's cool. And it only sticks out a little bit, it's not terrible. Now, the fun part is trying to get this guy up here on the back. You can tell I've been a little busy. That was a pain in the ass to try to get off, but finally got it. So now it should be relatively easy. The switch fits in there quite nicely. So now I just got to drill it just right to figure out how high up or down I want it to be. So I'm going to put that switch in there and then put this in and see where it should go. And then after I drill the hole and secure that, we can connect all the wires and be done with this shit. Alright, here we are, final product, I'm pretty sure. There's the switch and the toggle switch up top right there. And here's how it sits in the back. I had to flip it around so that the tab for this was pointing down, because otherwise it got under the switch too much. And I don't know. It should be pretty decent. Doesn't wiggle too much, so I think that'll work. Now to make sure everything fits and then hook up all the electrical connections. Hooray! Okay, so here's my diagram right here. This is the flips like the toggle switch, and the one at the bottom is the winch activator. So I have the whole thing laid out here. From the winch, I have the 3 wires over here that come out. I have the color and what they do. So the positive wire runs into the flip switch to the bottom lead, and the middle one will run out to the middle of this one. And then you have the in and the out go to the in and the out on this switch. And then over here, this ground just has to go somewhere so the light turns on independently of this. Because if you follow the flow, this light has to go from positive to negative, and the entire circuit's got to be complete. So we'd have to go from here to here, through this, through one of these, and back out to the winch for that light to work. So that means you'd have to flick this for the light to come on. And I just want it to be on when it's on, so that's what that extra ground's for. So, sorry for all the blather, but I will hook it all up and then show you what it looks like. So this is what we look like when we're all hooked up. It's a little complicated, I know, but you have your positive wire coming in, positive wire coming out into here, and then with the flip of the switch, you have it going out to in or out to out. And then this is the ground for the light. Alright, I don't know if that's a little easier to look at when it's all hooked up. So, switch into on position, out, in. Nice. I don't know if you could see the light was coming on. See it? So that's our current situation. Is the reason that doesn't come on is because that black wire I was talking about before has to be grounded. And it's in here. So I just gotta hook an eyelet up to it and literally ground it anywhere and it'll come on. Okay, cool. So I think that about covers it. So I just gotta screw it together. Alright, here we have the final setup right here. Now that the switch is grounded, light comes on, and we can go out or in. Safety. So, good luck with your winching adventures and endeavors and switch making.